Good morning. Good morning. It is good to be together. Today, we'll begin to explore the theme of creativity that's going to anchor our services for the month of May. And as we begin, will you please take a moment to make sure that your cell phones are turned off and consider moving into the center seats so that there's room on the aisles for those yet to arrive. My name is Lindsay Dunckel, and I am serving as one of 3 worship associates for this service, a happy trio. And as we were planning this service, we noticed that today is, guess what? World Laughter Day. Right on cue. Did you know that laughter serves as social glue? It's a critical factor in relationship building. Laughter releases endorphins, which are the feel-good hormones, and it decreases blood pressure and it can relieve anxiety. That's why they say laughter is good medicine, right? It's also an excellent way to loosen yourself up for some creativity. So, there is an ancient practice that's called laughter yoga, even. And it often begins with a few deep breaths. And then it turns out that an excellent way to begin to laugh is to pretend to laugh, which apparently the brain and the body cannot distinguish from real laughter when it comes to the benefits that it bestows. And then as you pretend laugh, that often turns into real laughter. I know that when I was a kid, we used to lie with our heads on each other's stomachs and play the ha-ha game that would end up in riotous laughter. So are you ready to pretend laugh with me and maybe real laugh? Well, happy World Laughter Day to you all. I commend your ability to create laughter. Our first song today allows for some more spontaneous creativity. We'll begin with the lyrics, "Thank you for this day, this healing day," and then in subsequent verses, I'm going to invite you to call out a word of something that you're thankful for in place of the word day. You'll get it, I promise. So a single syllable word works best when I call for those, but we could probably be creative enough to fit in 2 or 3 syllables if you feel we must. Will you please rise in body and or spirit and join in singing?
By placing this basket of black oak acorns on our altar, we acknowledge the Nisenan people are still here among us today, though nearly invisible after generations of erasure and exclusion from California's history. We understand we are on Nisenan land that was never ceded, never given up, and the original tribal families have yet to recover from the genocide of their people. We commit ourselves to supporting the Nisenan in their efforts to stabilize their people and restore tribal sovereignty.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Unitarian Universalist community of the Mountain services today. I'm Tracy Pepper. I am serving as one of your worship associates for this growing, journeying community. We welcome all of you to our service, especially those of you who are searching for a spiritual home. Many of us were once too seeking something larger than ourselves to which we could belong, a sense of rootedness to hold us as we create meaning together. We do that well here, though not perfectly. In this congregation, we strive not for perfection, but for authenticity and connection. Whether it's your first time in worship or your 100th time, we hope you'll find here questions that stretch you, people to befriend you, and liberal religious values that challenge you to join us in loving boldly, living justly, and welcoming radically. Welcome.
Leslie Takahashi writes, "All that we have ever loved and all that we have ever been stands with us on the brink of all that we aspire to create. A deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life we share."
Oh my gosh, I hope, my name is Randy McKean. Many of you know me as I play music from time to time here. About 20 years ago or so, I was not playing music. I decided I was going to be a writer. I was working on a novel. And in the April 2000, I went to a artist writers retreat, and I was there for 2 weeks. And the idea was like I was going to work on this novel and really get progress done, and it was going to get, it was going to be the next, the next great American novel. But within like 3 or 4 days, I was also suffering from that well-known thing, writer's block. So I wasn't writing a thing. And in the meantime, I was missing Lindsay, my wife Lindsay, and our 2 kids, Sophia and Callum, who were 4 and 2 at the time. And one of the things I used to do was I would make up a bedtime story for them every night when we were putting them to bed. If it was my turn or I was doing it, I would come up with these stories. And I wasn't there to tell the story, and I would just always improvise them. I never knew what was going to happen, but I would sometimes work in what we'd done that day. Like Sophia and Callum were at the zoo, and then all of a sudden they met these crazy characters and stuff would happen. So here I was in Vermont, and it had snowed, and it was very cold, and I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. And I decided to write them a storybook. So I wasn't being creative for my own thing. I was like, you know what? I'm going to write this down. I'm going to mail it to them and hope it gets there before I drive back home. So I was going to share that with you today. This is the Eddie and Rocket storybook by Daddy, and there's a little asterisk there saying also known as Randy McKean. So let's see. So here we go. And I also illustrated this. So this is me just trying to be super creative. You'll notice that there's pieces of paper that I cut out and glued to this notebook, and you'll see Post-its and things. So this is just like when you just go for it. And this is like maybe the literary form. So this is Eddie. You'll notice he has blue hair. This is Eddie. So he lives in the forest with his pet horse, Rocket, who is also blue, who can fly. He likes going really fast. Rocket can fly faster than a bat. Wow. A bird. Wow. An airplane. Wow. A helicopter. Wow. Or even a real rocket. And then there's an astronaut saying, wow, at the top of that. So one day, Sophia and her brother Callum, who lived in Brooklyn, New York, that's when I cut up the map that I had brought with me and put it in here.
But you still made it home.
I did. So Sophia and Callum, who lived in Brooklyn, New York, decided to go for a drive in the countryside. Sophia took her red convertible and Cal took his blue Volkswagen Bug. This is always part of the stories I would make up. They started racing down the road. They're racing down the road. They got so excited racing that they forgot to be careful. They went faster and faster. The roads got curvier and curvier. And just when Sophia and Callum were going the fastest they could go, they hit a curve and sent both their cars flying. Uh-oh. And this bird is saying, wow, look at them go. So Cal flew out of his car and into Sophia's. Plop. Sophia said, I know what to do. And she went to use her secret buttons. She has a button for invisibility, skis, and an ejector seat, but she pushed the parachute button. Uh-oh, but her parachute didn't work. What would they do? The car went smash, and Sophia and Callum went flying. Just then, Eddie and Rocket were flying by. Oh no, we've got to save those kids. Eddie and Rocket flew to them just in time and saved them. Callum looked at Sophia. Oops, they were worried about their cars. Thanks, said Sophia and Callum to Eddie and Rocket. Do you know where we can get our cars fixed? Asked Sophia. How about the magician, said Rocket. Yeah, said Eddie, let's go. So they flew to the magician's house. So Sophia and Callum told him about their car, and would he please say something like abracadabra that could fix it for them? Certainly, said the magician. But first you must do something for me. To do the magic right, I need the hair from the chin of a dragon. A dragon? They're looking a little nervous there. Eddie's friend, the elf, had a special dragon helmet, so they went there first. Elf wanted to come along for fun. For fun, they said. Oh yeah, I love playing with dragons, said Sophia and Callum and Eddie and Rocket. They were all scared of the dragon. But off they went, and soon they came to the place in the forest where the dragon was said to have his cave. They looked inside the cave. There wasn't a dragon, but there was a huge pile of stolen treasure. Sophia and Callum's eyes got very big. Think of all the toys we could buy with all this treasure. Now, said the elf, don't be greedy. Oh, we don't need the whole thing. Just a little bit is good. So Sophia and Callum went into the cave. Just then, the dragon returned. He let out a big roar, and fire shot out everywhere. Who dares steal my treasure? He bellowed. Come on, guys, let's save them, said Elf to Eddie and Rocket. The three of them flew close enough to throw Sophia and Callum the special dragon helmet. Sophia put it on just in time to protect them from the dragon's fiery breath. Time to play, said Elf. With that, he drew out 3 giant feathers. Eddie, Rocket, and the elf tickled the dragon. Hee, 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 he roared. Now's our chance, said Callum. Oop, I went the wrong way. Now's our chance, said Callum. He put on the helmet and got on Sophia's shoulders. Sophia did a giant jump and they bounced up to the dragon's chin. Callum grabbed one of the dragon's chin hairs, but it wouldn't come off. Ouch, said the dragon. And he blew a big blast of fire that sent Sophia and Callum back into the cave. But he was still being tickled by Eddie Rocket and the elf. He finally could stand it no more. Please stop. What do you want? He said. Sophia spoke up. We just need a hair from your chin for a magic spell. That's all? Said the dragon. You don't want my treasure? Cal and Sophia looked at each other. No, we just want to get our cars fixed and go back home, they said. Well, why didn't you say so? I just shaved this morning with my special magic dragon beard shaving kit. Here's a little whisker from my sink. Excuse the mess. And he handed them a hair from his dragon chin. Thank you, they said. Suddenly, everything went poof, and they were all back at the magician's house. You have gotten the dragon hair. Wonderful. He threw it into his pot. Again, everything went poof. Sophia and Callum were now in their cars, all ready to go. Thank you, everybody, they said. No problem. Come back and visit us anytime, they said. We will, said Sophia and Callum. And with that, they drove off back to Brooklyn and got home just in time for supper with their mommy and daddy. Oh, there they are. The end.
While the choir sings the De Colores song, I have colorful scarves to go along with the colors we'll be singing about if anyone would like to wave a scarf.
Amores de muchos dolores.
Why is this blank page staring back at me, mocking like an affliction and fraught with dread? How can it hold such sway, this simple emptiness? Might it instead be a gift left on my doorstep overnight, waiting to be broken open with the dawn? A present, eager to emerge if only I had the sense to hold the paper over a candle flame, its lemon juice message appearing like magic, clear and true. Each new day is like this, pure air, devoid of density, but for the weight of our own invention. Birds do not worry the morning or fret the rising sun. They wait, expectant, until its rays kisses their downy necks. Then, stretching, they turn to face the day and sing.
John Keats wrote, "The problems of the world cannot possibly be solved by skeptics or cynics whose horizons are limited by the obvious realities. We need those who can dream of things that never were." We can put our creativity to work in helping create a better world. Like the writer Jules Verne dreaming up the submarine, which later came into being probably because of his creativity. As is captured in our mission statement, we are working toward a world more equitable, sustainable, and just. And we need our creativity to bring that world about. There is a significant amount of creativity involved in social and environmental justice work. So let's practice our creativity. Open ourselves up to multiple possibilities. You probably found a half sheet of paper on your chair when you came in this morning. If you don't have one, raise your hand, and if you have an extra one near you, look for someone with their hand up. All right, and if you need a writing implement, you could also put your hand up in the air, and our greeters will bring one to you. So there are 4 different squiggles, because we all know that there's nothing more frightening than a blank page, right? So I started for you, and I'm inviting you to just continue that drawing. For those of you on Zoom, grab a pencil and a paper, make yourself a little squiggle, and then start to draw off of that and see what comes about. And the interesting thing is, even though there's only 4 squiggles, we will have as many different drawings as we have people in the room. Take a moment and dive into your creativity. I invite those of you on Zoom who'd like to hold your pictures up to your camera. And those of you in the room, I invite you just to hold them up and turn them around kind of slowly so other people can see. There was a lot of busyness out there. Sometimes all you need to unleash your creativity is just a few moments to sit with it and see what emerges. Thank you, Zoom participants. We loved seeing your drawings too.
Those of us who create, whether that be art or writing or music or something else, as a vocation or as an avocation, we know a specific sorrow that is the inability to create, those moments of feeling stuck. When that blank page stares back at you and will not yield. But we also know the joy when the creation seems to just flow, almost as if we are but the vessel for some creative force that is flowing through us. And the joy of seeing what we have created touch others, resonate with others, stir others. In this place made holy by our being together in it, we have the opportunity to symbolically share the joys and sorrows that we carry with us by coming forward to select a stone and drop it in a bowl of water that symbolizes this community and the ways in which we care for and are affected by one another, ripples of influence.
I put those last few stones in for those joys and sorrows that we carry within that we're not ready to share yet. And I lit a candle for the people of the Sudan. A Prayer of Co-Creation by Lynn Cox. Creative Spirit, source of life and love, we give thanks for the beauty of this day and for the company of those assembled here. Thank you for the breezes of change, clearing our heads and bringing fresh ideas. May they cleanse our minds of the oppressions and isms that divide us. Thank you for the flame of hope, the heat of righteous anger, the warmth of compassion, and the fire of commitment. May they bubble the cauldrons of transformation. Thank you for the oceans of love, rivers of connection, tears of relief, and pools of serenity. May healing waters flow over us and through us and among us, wearing down the sharp rocks of despair to bring joy in the morning. Thank you for the good earth beneath us, around us, and within us. May we take this clay and co-create a new realm of justice and beauty. Thank you for all these and more. We accept our gifts and commit to building, sculpting, painting, singing, and dancing them to life, to abundant life. So may it be. Blessed be. Amen. Now we have another chance to practice our creativity. We're going to make up a story together. We're just going to channel Randy. So Tracy's got a microphone that she can bring around if you're, and she's not afraid to use it. I will start us off. Now, what happens when you make up a story like this? This is a thing that we do in improv. Somebody starts and tells a little bit, often stops at a sort of cliffhanger, just a couple of sentences, right? And then somebody else says, "Ooh, I'll go." And then you tell the next just a little bit. And eventually, sometimes quickly and sometimes longer, you come to a spot where you realize, oh, that's the end. You'll hear it. All right, so, oh yes, thank you, Randy. And an important factor is that you're building on the story that's there. It's the principle of yes and. So you don't negate what the storytellers before you have said, you build on what they said, even if you had a different idea in your head before they spoke. That's the hardest part. All right, so let's see. I probably should have thought about this before now. Once upon a time, there was a young person named Arrow. And Arrow was so cozy in bed under the covers, and it was nice and warm, and they were in that yummy part of sleep, and they thought, I don't know if I'm ready to wake up yet. And then all of a sudden, they remembered what was going to happen today.
And who would like to continue with that story?
Watermelon eating contest. Arrow remembered that today was the watermelon eating contest at his school.
Eric loved watermelon, but he loved spitting the pits out even more.
And fortunately, The contest included a seed spitting contest to see how far they can go. So he was very excited and he knew he would win. So he looked for something that he could use to practice with.
But first, they noticed the smell of toast coming from the kitchen. And this wasn't just any toast. It was French toast, Arrow's favorite.
So he took the French toast and tossed it as far as he could as practice.
So the toast is flying through the air, and as quick as he could, is it a he? Did we say? Yeah, they grabbed sunflower seeds that were in a bowl at the ready on the table for just such a thing, shoved a bunch in his mouth and spit them off with rapid fire and hit a perfect hole through the French toast as it was still in the air. Is that the end? One more.
But there were those watermelon seeds that he really wanted to be part of the contest in. And so he put those in his mouth and he started spitting. Where did they go?
Suddenly, in ran Color, the family dog, who was very excited to see food flying through the air. All of a sudden, the dog started jumping up in the air, catching the seeds, and Arrow found that they had created an exciting new game.
The dog, after all its activity, lay down in the soft dirt and fell asleep and dreamed of coming and growing into a watermelon garden.
That sounds like the end.
The end. Good job. Good job.
Things going on today. Each Sunday, we have a chance to practice generosity in order to support the workings of UUCM and contribute to the broader community. Every month, we select a local nonprofit whose work reflects our values with whom to share our offering. This month, 25% of our offering will go to the CASA program of Child Advocates of Nevada County. And here to tell us more about their crucial work is CASA Program Manager Melinda Duros.
Thank you, Randy, and thank you so much for having me this morning. I look out in this room and I see such pivotal parts of Child Advocates. Child Advocates has been in this community for 30 years, and in this room are represented Laura Harder, Cheryl Morris, Gail Johnson-Vaughn, so many people who have been so important in building and sustaining Child Advocates as an agency. We have 3 programs that support children at risk of abuse and neglect. Child Safety Puppeteers takes puppet shows into preschool to 3rd grade classrooms and teaches kids how to recognize if they might be experiencing inappropriate touch or bullying, and how to, oh, Carol Nimick. So yeah, look around, see all these people that are so wonderful. How to recognize if they're in a situation that they need help from a trusted adult, and how to talk to that adult about what's going on. Healthy Babies is a program that pairs home visitors with pregnant moms and new parents to help them get their family off to a solid, stable, safe start and provide them the resources and education and guidance and support that they need to create healthy, safe families. And then CASA is a program that trains and supports community volunteers, just like you, to work one-on-one with children who, in most cases, have been removed from home because of abuse and neglect and are facing a long journey through the foster care system. So CASAs come alongside that child one by one and help them through what can be a very arduous and confusing and difficult time in their lives. They support them, they visit them, they get to know them, they find out what their needs are, and then they share that information with the court, the dependency court judge, who makes decisions about that child's future. So they serve both the child and the court in securing a safe, loving, permanent home for that child as soon as possible. The Child Advocates CASA program also tries to support the children by providing enrichment activities along the way. These are children that are largely isolated and have not had the opportunity to experience some of the normalizing activities that most of us enjoyed as children. They've never had a ballet lesson. They've never been to an art class. They've never participated in a music program. They've not been to camp. All those things that really define us as children and help us grow into the adults that we are today. And so we try to provide those activities for children, and it's your contributions like what you're offering this month that we're so grateful for, because that's where it will go to give those children opportunities to experience lovely and soul-affirming activities that they might not have otherwise had access to. So thank you so much for your support of the children in this community. We couldn't be more grateful. So thank you.
Thank you, Melinda. So 25% of what you put in the baskets will go to Child Advocates. If you'd like 100% of your donation to go to Child Advocates, please put it in the white envelope you will find in the basket. Please see the slide for, so there may, I don't know if the slide is going to be here, but there are other ways to give. So will the greeters please come forward to accept this morning's offering? dedicate this morning's offering to the value of creativity, the life force that is vital to our work to create a better tomorrow for people of all ages here in Nevada County and throughout the world.
Thank you to all the people who put in volunteer hours to make a Sunday morning service possible. Thank you to Randy and Tracy for being the wonderful trio that we were. It's great fun doing this with you. Thank you to Randy. That was a contra alto clarinet, because I know everybody wants to know what that instrument was. Thank you, Toby, for your music. Thank you to the choir. Yay, choir. To George and Eileen and Linda, I want to point out that these are Lego things that Linda has built for creativity up there on the, yeah, come take a look afterwards. And who else? Thanks to Shannon Dooley Miller for refreshments, and to our greeters, as always, and our staff who gets us through. A few announcements. We have a wine market coming up with the wonderful Dave Luce, May 20th, 6 p.m. You can buy tickets at the back of the sanctuary. Our artist reception will be May 21st. Linda Siska is going to have a opening in the gallery, just on the other side of that wall. And there's a spring mural contest going on. Talk about an opportunity to unleash your creativity. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to have an idea. So those forms are floating around out there. And you can learn about our upcoming Sunday services, events, and so much more on our website at uugrassvalley.org. And finally, I want to encourage anyone who's able to show up at the Rood Center at 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning. There's a very important hearing about stopping the mine. And if there's overflow, it will go on Wednesday as well. Oh, Thursday? Wednesday and Thursday. Wow. Carpool, yes. All right. And now we get a chance to sing De Colores, number 305 in the hymn books. We're going to sing it in English, and the words will be up here. Oh, scarves are welcome once again to flow. Will you please rise in body and or spirit as you are willing and able?
All the colors of
That song is associated with the United Farm Workers Union as one of the most commonly heard songs during rallies. It's also associated with Mexican folklore, but it's not known for certain where the song originated. It's believed to have been in circulation throughout the Americas since the 16th century, with melodies being brought over from Spain during the colonial era. And it's all about colors, which is what we use to paint and draw, so it ties in with creativity and with the Cinco de Mayo festival that we just had. There you are. All right, closing words. Let us sing The Magic of Imagination by Susan L. Van Dresser. Let us sing the magic of imagination by which we know one another and learn the lives of eras gone by. Let us sing the magic of creation by which we build the world of our soul and teach its wisdom to others, young and old. Let us sing the magic of our lives together, holding and shaping by the movement of breath from heart to lung, all new life that is to come. Go now with singing. Go now with magic in your fingertips. Touch this world with life. As we extinguish the chalice, may we carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. And we will see you next Sunday for the Iowa Sisterhood with Reverend Janet Ani.